Hello, everyone. This is the most intelligent and magnificent bird, Beak, speaking to you today. And in today's video, I'm back at it once again with another character review of the Outlander's Allegiance. And this time, it's going to be on Gold Mythic Scotsman. And before we get started, I hope all of you are doing good and staying safe out there. I'm doing good, and I'm staying safe for the most part. And speaking of the Corey, I have a lot to talk about with the Corey, but we won't do that. I won't talk about that in this video. I'll save it for a future video, maybe before or after this. But anyway, enough's happened where I have a lot I have to talk about with that for sure. And I don't think we should waste any more time. I think we should go ahead and jump into this character review, shall we? The Scotsman, Outlanders. His trait is strong, his role is support, and his allegiance is a member of the Outlanders. Now let's take a look at his stats. His attack stat is 17,700. His HP is also 17,700, and his defense is 15,171. Let's take a look at his adrenaline rush. Bone Crusher. The recharge rate is 66 AP, so that's pretty reasonably fast. The standard for most gold mythics. Deal 500% damage to 2 enemies. Those enemies get minus 50% defense for 1 turn. You know, for those that might have been hearing me say this, at first I said that I was pretty disappointed by the Scotsman, but after looking over him a couple of times and thinking about it, he's actually not that bad as I initially thought at first. He's actually pretty decent, dealing 500% damage to 2 enemies, and those enemies get minus 50% defense for at least 1 turn. That is like really good, actually. So at first I was like really disappointed, but I've came around on him a little bit. And there's other parts of his kit that, you know, I'm thinking in the past there's definitely been better Battle Pass characters to come out, and there's been worse Battle Pass characters to come out. He's a decent Battle Pass tune. The adrenaline rush, not overpowered, not the worst. It's a pretty decent adrenaline rush for sure. Now let's take a look at his signature move, Bloody Rage. The initial cooldown is turn 1. Number of cooldowns 1 turn. Number of uses unlimited. Deal damage equal to 25% of his max HP. Okay, yeah, deal damage equal to 25% of max HP to self. To a minimum of 1 HP, deal 300% damage up to 2 enemies. His signature move is very similar to Tyrese's, where, you do Tyrese's signature move and he will lose HP, but I believe he's also isn't he doing damage to the enemies as well? I think so. I don't know. It's been a little while since I've looked at Tyrese. But yeah, that part definitely reminds me of Tyrese, and I just thought that was really bad at first. I really did, but I'm coming around on the first part a little bit more, because most characters, when you do their signature move, they'll get like, 30%, 30 AP. When you do his signature move, I believe he gets 45 AP, which that's pretty good. That's a pretty good amount of AP to get just from the signature by itself. Plus, he's doing a nice little amount of damage up to 2 enemies, which that would be, 300%. Not the worst signature move, but certainly not the best signature move. It's somewhere in the middle, for sure. So, a decent adrenaline rush and a decent signature, somewhere in the middle for sure. Now, let's take a look at the Scotsman's Mythic abilities. Cunning. When attacking or being attacked, 30% less likely to trigger enemy weapon effects and walker effects. Yeah, this is a pretty good one. I would go ahead and level this one up. Let's see, for those that are support tunes, I know Waylon is. I'm pretty sure Duck classifies as a support tune, funny enough. So yeah, those two are support tunes, and Cunning's a pretty good one to go ahead and level up for sure. No need to really take too long in talking about Cunning. Outlander's Focus. At the start of each turn, 100% chance all Outlander's Allegiance teammates get focus for 1 turn. If you are planning on building a Outlanders team, and if you notice, or you probably already know, that the Scotsman is a leader, which we will get to that, but if you are planning on building up an allegiance, if you're planning on building a Outlanders Allegiance team, this one is definitely going to be worth it to, be worth putting your investments into for sure, because you never know what kind of human shield they could come out with in the future. This is easily going to bypass those Uncle Sam teams, at least for a turn. And I believe focus helps with not getting taunted, I think, as well. So that's pretty good. If you are planning on building a Outlanders team, Outlanders Focus is going to be a good one to put your resources into. Best Friends. At the start of each turn, when this character's HP is 75% or less, Mythic Outlanders Brutus gets 200% attack for 1 turn. Okay, so right here, Best Friends, this is going to be the difference between Scotsman being a decent tune to being a really great tune. Because if you have Scotsman and Brutus in the same team and you have Best Friends leveled up all the way, this is going to be, I think it's going to be well worth it, especially if you're planning on having Scotsman and Brutus on the same team. Brutus is going to benefit heavily from this. I mean, 200% attack, that's going to be outrageous for sure. And Brutus doesn't really need that. Well, let's just say if Brutus doesn't have the 200% attack, it's not like it's going to hurt him, you know what I mean? Having that 200% attack will be a little nice bow on top of Brutus's potential already. So yeah, if you're planning on having Scotsman and Brutus on the same team, Best Friends is going to be a good one to put your resources into for sure. Follow up blow. When this character uses their signature move, 100% chance up to 2 enemies get stunned for 1 turn. This is one that I would like a lot. So if I had the Scotsman, I would be leveling follow up blow for sure. It's going to be a real good one, and you have a chance to do some damage, for that 1 turn with enemies being stunned. I wish the stun was for 2 turns, but it's better than, the enemies not being stunned at all. So he's got some pretty decent mythic abilities there. Now let's take a look at his leader skill. All Outlander's Allegiance teammates get 45% attack. All other teammates get 35% attack. This is a pretty decent leader skill. It's pretty straightforward, pretty simple. That is, you got to worry about how you're going to figure out how you're going to counter bleed and burn and all of that. You could accomplish that with mods and stuff like that. But if you have really good bleed and burn resist mods and you think you don't need the Jackie lead, he's a pretty good leader for attacking teams for sure. Definitely. And if you are building up if you're building up a Outlander's Allegiance team, you're definitely going to get the most out of his leader skill for sure. Now let's take a look at his weapon. The Scotsman's Sturdy Hammer. 35% attack, 30% HP, improved defense, plus attack down. When being attacked, a 60% chance to cause minus 35% defense and minus 35 and minus 35% attack to the attacker for their next 2 turns. Normally, I would be in favor of going for like a healing stun 1535 weapon, but you know what? You could get away with this. If you want to keep the base weapon, this is one of the better base weapons for a gold mythic. Not the best base weapon ever, but certainly not one of the worst. It's definitely one of the better. I would probably say it's a B tier gold mythic base weapon at the start. Potentially it could move up to A tier, but right now I'm going to put it at B tier. Or if something for whatever reason, if you wanted to switch this weapon out, then you could put a healing stun weapon in his hands and a 1535 for sure. But my question is, would you want that HP? I mean, maybe, but based off of his, let's see here. Based off of his mythic ability, Best Friends, it's a tricky situation with the HP because at the start of each turn, if he has 75% or less HP, Brutus is going to get that huge benefit of 200% attack. I think you might be able to get away with having that HP on there for sure. Or if you really wanted to sacrifice that HP, I would put maybe huge bonus to AP when attacking or something like that. Or, with his base weapon, you could keep it up, how it is, keep the 3rd slot and all of that. Maybe try for 1535 or AP down, or something like that. Personally, I would want to try, you know what? This is a 4-star weapon, so I would definitely bump the attack up for sure. Maybe touch the HP a little bit and then turn it into a 5-star weapon, then go for 1535 and just increase the attack even more. Or if you really want to put a healing stun weapon in his hands, just go ahead and immediately upgrade it to a 5-star weapon, and there you go. You can have a healing stun 1535 weapon if you want to go that way. I think you can get away with either his base weapon or putting a healing stun weapon on him. I think either way is generally fine, in my opinion. And I gotta say, I love the look on Scotsman. Not the coolest looking character in the Outlanders Allegiance. I think we all know who that distinction goes to, but I would say he's in second place right now, at this moment. I would say Scotsman's probably in second place, in my personal opinion. And I've turned around on this character. I thought he was severely disappointing at first, but actually, after going over him and thinking about it, I have to say he's a pretty decent tune. And if you buy this current battle pass that's coming up, I don't think it would be a mistake. I think it would be worth your money, to be honest. For me, am I going to buy the battle pass currently right now with Scotsman? To be perfectly honest, I'm really going to have to think about it. At first I said I wasn't going to, but I'm now thinking about it. Let me see where I'm at in a couple of weeks from now, and I will have made a decision by then, I'm sure. But right now, I'm definitely thinking about it. I haven't said yes, but I haven't said no on it either. So I'm definitely going to have to think about it. He looks badass. So does Brutus. Imani looks pretty cool too. And like I said, either in a future video from this one or a video before this one, I have a lot to talk about the Quarry. Enough has happened where I think it's definitely worthy for me to talk about what's happening. And, for those that want to hear me talk about it, you're in for a treat. Shit has literally hit the fan where I'm at, and that's going to do it for this one. I want to thank each and every one of you for stopping by and for your continued support. Or if you're new, welcome in for the first time. And what are your thoughts on Gold Mythic Scotsman? All of you are very awesome, and I thank you again. And don't forget to hit the bell and switch on all notifications so you know the second I upload to YouTube. I am Beak, and I'm gonna go fly away back to my nest. Until next time, bye guys.